Hello.
Hi, Milan. Andrew Spicer, ADP.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. How are you doing today?
Doing well, thank you.
Thank you for closing that. Long day so far?
No, just getting started.
Oh, that's good.
How about you?
It's a little bit of a long day. Had a few meetings this morning, but it's gearing up nicely.
All right.
So, people helping people. Very interesting when I heard about you guys, how you work with recently convicted criminals. That's pretty unique. You don't hear that every day.
No, it's a mission that we're behind. These are folks who are underserved, and they've done their time, and they deserve an opportunity at the American dream, a second chance.
Definitely. That's awesome. I think that you guys are doing that.
Thank you.
Do you have a service background specifically, or just something you were interested in and got involved?
No, just I've been in the industry for a while, and now I made some money, and now it's opportunity to get back. So
Okay. Yeah, that's great.
Wanted to go do some nonprofit stuff.
That's fantastic. I know I volunteer at Special Olympics. My aunt is involved with that a little bit as well. So I think it's very rewarding to give back. Everybody should be doing that.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm. Quick question for you. I know I was looking through your information. You obviously provide employment services, but
before we get started too much,
sure.
I just want to be clear. We're not for profit,
mm-hmm.
and I know Pat wanted us to have this meeting, but I'm not sure how ADP can help us.
Okay, sure. Well, if you want to jump right into it, I would love to talk to you.
Sure.
Okay. Well, I know Pat talked a little bit about some concerns and issues that you guys were having.
Okay.
Okay. And just so that you understand where we're going to be going here, a little bit of an agenda for you today.
All right.
We'll skip ahead to the identifying current issues and possible solutions.
Okay.
So Pat had told me that you guys have recently had some problems with buddy punching, tax penalties, and some office policies and procedures. Is that correct?
Pat told you all those things?
Pat, he had mentioned them briefly.
All right.
Yes. Is that accurate? Or?
Well, I think we've had some issues. I'm not certain. What did he tell you?
Well, just that you guys have incurred some tax penalties for some incorrect payroll filing because Betsy had just left.
Yeah, Betsy has retired, and she was in charge of payroll.
Okay, and now you've taken that responsibility?
I have.
What a lucky man, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So payroll's not my background.
Mm-hmm.
And Betsy had her system, and she left before we had a chance to really understand what her system was. So we've had some issues trying to figure out how to make the payroll work.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, then going off those tax penalties, do you have any idea numerically how much that's cost you guys?
I'm not prepared to talk numbers today.
Okay.
But it's more than what we want to. We shouldn't be paying penalties.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Now, another issue that was mentioned by Pat was buddy punching.
Yeah.
Is that something that's accurate that's going on?
What is buddy punching?
Well, basically, if say we were both coworkers and I go into work and I'm working and I clock in, perhaps you wanted overtime, so I would clock you in as well, and it would say that you're working when you actually aren't.
Okay. Yeah, I think some of the branch managers think that's happening. We give everyone a 4-digit PIN number.
Mm-hmm.
And you're supposed to keep those PIN numbers secret, but we think people may be sharing them. We don't have evidence of that.
Yeah.
But some of our labor costs in the last quarter or so have been
a little too high.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's directly related to overtime, I'm assuming?
We think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for elaborating on that. Now, another one was that he had mentioned was policies and procedures. Apparently, it's not very clear with a handbook or job descriptions about what your employees are liable for. Is that accurate as well?
I think we're clear on how we tell them, but I think there's 12 different branches with 12 different branch managers, so I think there may be some ambiguity on the specific policies.
Sure. Mm-hmm. I mean, 12 offices, 12 different states, 12 different managers, like you said. It would make sense that there's some ambiguity.
Yeah, there's some complexity there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Definitely. Okay. Well, besides those issues, was there anything else that you have any concerns about?
Most of them are just kind of around ADP. We already have a payroll system.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said,
what system is that?
What's called the Basics. Yeah.
Okay.
It's called the Payroll Basics.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
What makes ADP better?
Sure. Well, you want to take a look here? Kind of gives you a brief overview about ADP and what we offer.
Yeah.
Our 3 areas of expertise would be cash management, people management, and risk management.
Okay.
Now, just going down the line in terms of payroll, I'm sure that you're a little tired of going through the payroll yourself, or maybe it's a little difficult for you to use that system.
Okay.
Our payroll platform is powered by ADP.
All right.
It's a cloud-based software
All right.
that backs up the files automatically, 9 levels of security. It's a very secure system. The best part about that is that you can do that 24/7 from your iPad, laptop, iPhone, whatever, wherever you are.
All right.
And going off of that, speaking of 24/7, we also have 24/7 live customer service. So if you had, 3 in the morning, you're doing payroll, whenever you can fit it in, if you had a question or a concern or weren't sure how something would
Sure.
happen, you can call and talk to an actual person,
All right.
and they'd work through that with you.
All right.
And luckily, we have 95% customer satisfaction, so it's a very successful system.
Okay.
So that would be the cash management portion. Moving down the line in terms of people management, well, real quick for you, I know that you work with convicted criminals. What background checks do you do?
You know, we've been expanding so quickly, I don't know if we have a standardized process for that. I think each of the branch managers are responsible for, hiring their employees, and so that they each have their own system.
Sure. Well, if that's something that you were interested in looking into moving forward, we can provide you with some background checks via Social Security number. They're instantaneous. We'll give you all the county criminal records so you can make informed hiring decisions.
You guys are a for-profit business, and
Mm-hmm.
so the background checks, and those are very important for you guys. But, we're a not-for-profit business that
Sure.
focuses on hiring rehabilitated criminals. So, I can see the value of a background check, but I'm not sure how it would help us. We still need some flexibility.
Okay. Well, whenever you're hiring or working with some of these convicted criminals, I'm sure that there's a criteria you have for who you can work with and who you cannot.
We have an ideal. We have an idea of what our ideal candidate would be. Yes.
Okay. Well, the background checks could help you discern if everything that they're telling you up front is accurate or not. So you could determine, say that somebody comes in and says that they only have, a small misdemeanor or felony or whatever it may be, but then you do the security check and you realize, oh no, this has been happening for a while. Maybe this isn't somebody that you would want to work with.
Okay.
So that can help you guys moving forward.
All right.
Keep continuing off of people management. I know that you had said there's a little complex issue behind the policies and procedures for all the offices.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, that's something you would probably want to standardize moving forward, and ADP can help you with that.
Okay.
So online, we can provide a handbook that would be complete with job descriptions and everything else.
Right.
It's very easy to set up. Takes about 15 minutes. You can choose from 50 core policies that we would suggest, but there's also over 100 customizable options as well, so you can cater it to people helping people.
Okay.
Continuing off that, job description specifically, it's very important to have that. You have to be able to tell the potential employees, what their qualifications need to be, what their day-to-day is going to be, and you need to ensure that they've read that and understand that as well. With that system, you can verify that everyone's read the handbook and understands the policies and procedures, and that way, moving forward, say that there was ever a lawsuit that came or somebody tried to come back at you guys, you can verify, no, listen, these were clearly our stated policies and procedures,
Mm-hmm.
and you clearly did not meet those criteria, so you would be safe in that end.
Okay.
Continuing with risk management, I know we had talked about the tax penalties previously. Letting you know right now that if you did sign with ADP, we would take all that liability away from you. You wouldn't be liable for any tax penalties because we would take that burden ourselves. And I assure you there would be no tax penalties. We're very up to date with all that. Regardless of the 12 states, we would be very accurate with each state's specific federal tax and income procedures. So no liability on your part. You would definitely get rid of that expense moving forward. Continuing off of that, I'm sure you guys have labor law posters as well.
Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah, which by law you need to do that, and
Yeah.
I'm sure as you're aware, there's a lot of changes and updates that come with those. That's another burden that we could take off your back. So I know you're wearing many hats, and just another concern that we could take from you. We would be updating those automatically. We would get those laminated and mailed out to your offices anytime that there's a change or anything like that that would need to be addressed. Mm-hmm. So besides those concerns, what other issues are you having?
I'm concerned that ADP is a really large company,
Mm-hmm.
and we're a small non-for-profit company, and that once we sign up with you guys and you start getting money from us, that we're just not going to get the attention we need in order to complete our mission.
That's a legitimate concern. I'm actually glad you brought that up. I would be a representative, so I can assure you that there would be no issue there in contacting or anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Before this meeting, I sent you my contact information electronically, but just to ensure that you have it, here's my business card.
Okay, thank you.
Please, if you have any concerns, issues you would want to talk about, feel free to reach out to me at any time. Now, I know you're based out of New York City. I'm currently living over in Wayne, but it's pretty close. I mean, I would have no problem coming to meet you and be very flexible and accommodating your needs.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Continuing down the line here, I know we had mentioned buddy punching earlier, and that was something you think that maybe an issue, may not be.
Mm-hmm.
I never really touched on that specifically, but your 4-digit code is, it's a way that you could be doing the clock in, clock out, but like you said, if that digit is passed around to other employees, then, anybody could sign in as anybody. There's no other fail-safe, correct? Well, ADP uses a biometric scanner, so that would be your fingerprint, and luckily you can't share that.
Right.
So we would definitely ensure that it's the right person clocking in and that there would be no buddy punching occurring. So we've talked about a lot, we've said a lot.
Mm-hmm.
From what we've talked about so far, are you understanding how these may be alleviating some of the issues that you've expressed?
I think I think I can see some potential here. We're working towards expansion. We've got these 12 different branches, and it sounds like you're asking me to change my system midstream.
Okay.
And I don't know if we're prepared for that kind of complexity.
Mm-hmm. No, I understand. And when you say system, are you talking specifically with payroll?
It's like in all of these,
Everything. Okay.
right? If that's what you're asking me to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's obviously a legitimate concern and definitely one that we would need to address. I can assure you that it's a very easy transition, and I would be with you here every step of the way. So in terms of payroll, very easy system to use, very easy to implement. I actually do have a demo on my iPad right now, but if we only have 15 minutes today, I'm not sure we'll have enough time to get to that. Maybe we can follow up on that in a later meeting.
Okay.
In terms of the handbook, like I said, 15 minutes, and we can implement that. It's all on the internet, so it would honestly just be an access to the employees anytime that they would need it. So it would be a very easy transition in those terms. The biometric scanner would definitely be something we would have to install and implement, but that would be our burden. We would be coming to your offices and we would be doing that.
All right.
So continuing, I know you guys are non-for-profit, and price is obviously of some concern. Do you have a board of directors then, or somebody that
We do.
you do? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know that ADP, in my opinion, could definitely benefit people helping people. And like you said, you guys are trying to expand, and with those tax penalties that you're incurring, we could eliminate those for you and definitely lower your expenses. Now, ADP, I would have to go and definitely crunch some numbers and get you the most accurate pricing information, and wouldn't want to give you anything that would be false. But I can assure you it would be cost advantageous for you to at least consider us and hopefully join with us. So that being said, if you were available to meet perhaps later and I could run through the payroll demo and some of this more information with your board of directors, then I would be very willing to do that.
I don't know. This seems to be moving pretty quickly. I need to take some time to think about this.
Sure.
Like I said, we're not-for-profits. We just have to make sure that we're being a good steward for our donors, and I just don't want to be rushed.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. It makes complete sense, and obviously you don't want to jump in anything without having your head at level and,
Sure.
of course. Well, then what I can do for you is I can condense these notes at the end of the meeting. I'll send them to you. If you want to send them to your board of directors or to maybe your branch managers and they could consider it, then perhaps we can meet at another day after that.
I don't need to send the board of directors for another meeting.
Okay. So then no board of directors meeting then? I would only be dealing with you?
For now.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Well then, moving forward, how would you guys feel about continually incurring some of these tax penalties? What would be your long-term plan for protecting yourself in terms of those liabilities?
We want to avoid them.
You would want to avoid them. Okay. Well, what would be your
right
plan
now
for
we have
avoiding
a
them?
calendar invite that I get a note saying I need to submit this paperwork by such and such date.
Okay. Now, is that for each state that you're getting that?
Yeah.
Okay. That seems like a lot of work for you.
It is.
So is that something you're willing to continue doing? I'm sure that, you probably have other...
I prefer not to.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you prefer not to, like I said, ADP could definitely help you out with that.
Okay.
And you wear a lot of hats in your position, and obviously you have more bigger picture concerns than running payroll or worrying about tax filings. I can't imagine that's something that you would want to keep doing.
No, I don't. I'd like to make that as automated as possible.
Mm-hmm. And that's something that we can help you with.
Sure.
ADP, automated data processing, that's what we do.
Okay.
So like I said, we can definitely benefit you in some ways, and I understand your concerns, but I really think that we could benefit you guys moving forward, especially if you're trying to expand.
Okay.
So at least consider us.
All right.
Mm-hmm. And perhaps, if you would like to do a follow-up meeting maybe next week, we could run through some of this again, because I know we only had 15 minutes today.
All right. So when do you want to meet?
Next Wednesday for me is open, but what's your schedule like?
I think that probably works for me.
Okay, perfect. Well, I'm going to send you these notes condensed either way, and then I'll also send an email for you with that next Wednesday. Morning or afternoon?
Probably afternoon.
Afternoon? Okay. Well, I'll send you an email. We'll see if we can lock down some times for Wednesday, and I'll come back with the demo prepared, and we can run through the payroll system so you can see how easy it is to use.
Okay. Thank you.
Awesome. Hey, Milan, thank you very much for meeting with me today.
Thanks, Andrew.
Really appreciate it.
You have a good day.
Good luck to you and people helping people.
All right.
Hear from you soon.
Yeah.